The Skywalker saga is officially over.
The whole Skywalker saga thing kind of rubs me the wrong way.
How come?
I like 7, 8, 9, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's not the Skywalker saga.
That's a hot
1 through 6 is Skywalker saga.
They really wanted it to be the Skywalker
They really
saga.
wanted it to be. Okay, different
All right.
video. Go on.
Anyway, in canonical episodes, there's always a lightsaber battle.
There's
Some. Well, you can justify. 8 uses this lightsaber on sword sticks. But
whatever you call those
I don't
things.
care. Spears, whatever the Royal Guard has.
For the most part, there's always lightsabers.
Oh yeah, a lot of action with the lightsaber. And today we're gonna explore the tiers of each lightsaber battle. Which ones are S? Which ones are all the way down at Unlucky D?
Which ones are not? Which ones don't live up to the hype?
Yeah.
I got some things here that I don't know. Maybe I don't know if we're gonna agree or disagree. But basically, me and Justin are gonna be putting together this tier list. The rules are like last time, so we each get one veto in the case of a stalemate and we can't come to an agreement.
Right.
You get one veto, which can move the placement one tier in either direction.
Right.
But
we have to come to a consensus.
But I think for the most part, though, we can.
I think we will, yeah, for the most part.
Okay, so then let's just
Should
jump.
we go in order, or how?
Yeah,
should we do
I
it?
got these ordered right now in story chronological. We're gonna kick things off with episode 1, Phantom Menace. Justin, here's my issue with this fight. I know people love this fight, and don't get me wrong.
Oh, already bringing an issue.
I like the fight too.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna mention this on every fight probably.
Right.
But for me, what makes the fight, what makes maybe 50% of it, are the emotional stakes or like the story that has brought us to this fight. Okay.
Right.
This is a beautifully choreographed fight, but this movie is bad, and I don't like what Darth Maul is. No one at this point.
That's true.
He's
We
like
know
he's
nothing.
like a weird devil man with horns and yellow eyes.
Yes, he is.
And like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan like kind of have like characters, but like not very strongly defined characters, in my opinion. And this fight, like the music is so cool and the choreography is so cool, but the context of it just doesn't do it for me.
I can see what you're saying there, but I have to respectfully disagree. This might be my favorite lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Because what I want from a lightsaber fight is the amazing choreography. I want a story within the fight, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And it has that. And
You're
not
referring to the
necessarily-
death of Qui-Gon.
Well, the death of Qui-Gon, but everything leading up to that as well. You see. Also, you get character moments within the fight, which is something I really respect. But yeah, so the story being,
I'm going to go ahead and call your bluff on that one. What are the character moments in the fight?
Okay, the character moments in the fight, you see each of their personalities. You see
You're talking about when they
get separated with the light beam walls. You see Darth Maul, he's
Yeah,
in rage.
he's mad.
He's walking back and forth. He's keeping his energy up. Qui-Gon, dude, what does he do?
He meditates. I like that.
Peaceful. Peaceful rest, right? Because he's feeling good, He's just a Jedi. It's the Jedi way. He relaxes. He centers himself. He feels the Force. And then
Obi-Wan is back there
Obi-Wan's
thinking,
panicked,
why
bro."
didn't I do the Force run like I did at the beginning of the movie? I could have made it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. What Obi-Wan's doing is he's thinking like, man, he's worried. You could tell he's worried.
He's
You see it
worried.
in his character. So, and then you have to watch Obi-Wan freaking watch his master get killed. Dude,
Okay.
that's emotional.
But they don't have there's hardly their relationship there for me.
Yeah, but there's enough of it to really. I mean, if there's anything about Phantom Menace that you actually feel, it's this moment. In the
It's
movie.
true. It's easily the best part of the movie. Best moment
And
of
you're,
the movie.
dude, Duel of Fates is like literally the greatest thing that's ever happened.
It's true. I 100% agree. It is fantastic.
It's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Just
And
thinking
that
about
carries
the
it for
details.
me. Like that carries it alone probably up to B for me.
B?
Yeah.
It's got at least be A.
I'm
I'm
thinking
like,
all right, it's definitely
I'm very firm on A.
okay. It's definitely not S. I can settle for an A.
I almost think it's even S. It's like one of my very favorite fights in all of the, and this is why I didn't want to start.
If you want S, I'm gonna play the veto card right now.
So you're just saying based on the fact that the movie is bad, and I agree with you. It's not one of my
Okay,
favorites.
so for example,
But like the lightsaber fight is in it of itself a contained moment within the movie,
okay,
right? And everything about that fight is like perfect. The choreography isn't like, we'll talk about this a little later. It's not too flippy.
it's pretty
It hits
flippy.
hard. It's pretty flippy, but it's less flippy than It does hit hard, dude. There's some moments where they
when Obi-Wan does the block
yes,
behind the back.
that's the one. Yes, when he's using the dual lightsaber and he turns around, hits him on both sides. That's pretty sweet.
So here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna get more into it when we hit episode 3, but that's the kind of emotion that I like in the fight.
Right. Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna say. I have one element that I don't love about it, and so I'm willing to let it slide to A, not B. And the element is when Obi-Wan is down there, dude. He's out of the fight. He's like Darth Maul's like doing the spurt or whatever it's called, the sparks. He's hitting he's down in the pit, dude. How he gets out of that?
When he does the jump.
Yeah, he does a forced jump, and literally Darth Maul. There's like a full second of him like looking.
He's like, wait a minute.
Like they like show a shot.
Here?
He's like, whoa.
Is he planning something?
He's like, dang, and then he like gets sliced in half after like all that intense battle. And so like that's the one thing. I wish it had ended differently.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. And it really like marinates. You see Darth Maul like
everything.
he's chilling.
Yeah,
he comes over. Obi-Wan gets the lightsaber and he's still chilling.
He shows a shot of him before he gets sliced in half.
Yeah, and,
like, he does nothing.
he's just shooting the breeze.
Man, yeah. See, that's the one thing. So I'm gonna let it slip to A, but because of Duel of Fates, because of the story within the fight, the dual lightsaber reveal, the choreography,
that's cool.
Everything about that was awesome.
All right, we can put it in A. Locked and loaded.
Nice.
Okay, moving on to Attack of the Clones. You want to know what's funny to me about these fights in the prequels? That they're always doing like these 2-on-1s.
Right.
But like the Jedi just get trashed in these 2-on-1s. It's like it's 2-on-1. You think it would be like a cakewalk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this fight, they get trashed.
Let's give some context in case people have forgotten. So you're talking about Obi-Wan, Anakin versus Count Dooku in the flight in the hangar.
Exactly.
Right.
So near the end of the movie, they're teaming up. They got the 2-on-1 with Dooku talking to Anakin and Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
The two of them get trashed, and then Obi-Wan gets sidelined somehow.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how.
And then Anakin gets the 1v1, and you're like, ooh, okay, he gets trashed.
There's this one shot in particular. I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it's in this one. Yeah, it is. Where the lights are just going past their faces.
Yeah.
Like you can't even see any lightsabers.
No, yeah.
Like it's like a second of them just.
And I swear to you, they're playing to the beat of the music too. It's like gong chicka gong 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 gong.
Yeah, but it's so bad. I literally look at it, I'm like, what is like? And this is one of my biggest problems with this one. This is when it got too
Dancy.
flippy, too much of the spinning.
Okay. Yeah, I was waiting to make this comment too, but here's one of my issues with the fights in the prequels overall, is that they're choreographed like dances. Right. And here's the thing about dances is that they're beautiful to watch, right? It's meant to be visually appealing. Mm-hmm. So there's not anything wrong with that per se, but at times it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Even though it's really cool, and obviously you have the sounds and the visual of the lightsabers that are really cool. Yeah. But like, yeah, they're just flipping them around at times.
They really are. Yeah, and I think this one also just like it's kind of shoehorned into the end of the movie. They both get wrecked, and then Yoda comes, and it's an even weaker lightsaber moment where he's just like
he's
mad
literally flipping around.
That's like one of my least favorite moments of every single like all of Star Wars. So, like, for those reasons, I really dislike this one. Like, I'm okay to let it just be at D.
And this one is often forgotten. Like, nobody ever talks about this one.
It's horrible. It's really bad. Also, I don't like Count Dooku. That's another thing.
Yeah, who is Dooku?
Like, we don't really... I don't know. Maybe some people like him and his, like, bent lightsaber or whatever.
I only like when he goes...
Twice the pride, double the fall.
But yeah, that's true. That's a good line.
All right,
Dooku. I'll give you that. Double the pride, double the fall.
I can put this in D.
Yeah, I'm good with D.
Moving on to 3. This is a fantastic lightsaber fight. It's got pretty much everything. Really, the one thing that I don't like about it is kind of how I was just mentioning. In the prequels, they really flip around and stuff. And it's like, it gets a little crazy. And I think in this fight in particular, there's like this 2-second snippet. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll put it on the screen. I know. But they're like literally going behind their backs. They're like going behind their backs, and they're not even.
They're like standing like this far away from each, like as close as we are.
Yeah. It's like, what are you guys doing? But
you're talking about.
I love, like, this is the pinnacle of the prequels. It's just like, man, it's finally the moment when Anakin is just like, he's lost it, and you see like these two guys who were friends like just wedge between them, and Anakin is on the offensive the entire fight. Like Obi-Wan is always on his back foot, which I love, and Anakin is just it's like it's pretty much perfect, this one.
No, I wouldn't say perfect. I have to throw some I really like it. I really do. And it's for the reasons that you already listed. Obi-Wan and Anakin. Here's one of the problems that maybe you already brought up. I don't feel like they got enough time in the prequels, especially because of episode 2 where they completely split off. And then they have like, episode 3 started with something good between them. They had some jokes and some banter and stuff.
Right.
So I'll give them that. But it wasn't enough to really make me feel like, dang, like this is like this broken relationship.
Yeah.
I guess they did have those moments as well where Obi-Wan learns about Anakin, like he like doesn't want to look at the recordings or whatever, and it's like it'll only bring you grief, or he does.
Yeah.
And he does anyway, and then like that's tough because he like sees this Padawan who's like Qui-Gon, who was his master and he watched die. Like he was the one that told him like you got to train Anakin.
He had to take
like,
him on.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was his last wish, and now to see this like come full circle, like that's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that element of it. It's got some really memeable moments though.
Fantastic dialogue. Really incredible.
It's like cheesy, like in a good way. At least for me.
I think their last exchange, right as he slices him off, like it's kind of cheesy but good.
The high ground.
It's a good. I love that, and I just love. I'm trying to remember exactly everything that Obi-Wan says, but they have their whole like. He says like you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Yeah.
It's like it's cheesy, but sometimes cheesy is good to get to your heart, and I feel like that did it for me.
Yeah, if it didn't have that, I feel like it would have been also like I don't know. I think it served a purpose, like you're saying. It kind of plays to your emotions with what their characters are going through. I like it. I don't know if I'm ready to say that it's perfect.
It's
though.
gotta be S.
I don't know, man.
This is like the definition. Well, we'll get to some really good stuff later.
I don't know if I love the choreography. I'm trying to remember.
Oh no, it's good. And also, so this has Battle of Heroes, which is underrated. People talk about Duel of Fates, but the Battle of Heroes is also really, really good.
Yeah, no, I remember really enjoying the music in this fight, but I'm just trying to
love
think.
it. Just looking at the picture, it's just like, man, it's like it really is the fall.
I do like that
it's the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire.
I like that
all
it's
in
on
one
Mustafar
fight.
in the lava.
Yeah.
Mustafar is like unstable how Anakin is right now. He's just kind of like rage, and so I like that. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm ready to go S.
I'm motioning S.
Okay. I don't think I want to use my veto yet because I think I might have some problems later on.
All right, so we're locking and loading.
I guess so. I really like it. I don't.
I have to
totally rewatch
S
it.
Tier. It's an S tier fight.
Man, all right, fine. I fold.
Beautiful. These next ones are gonna be different to talk about.
I love this.
So
right. I'm just gonna preface episode 4's fight. It's the most amazing lightsaber battle in my opinion.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny. When you rewatch it, it's so funny because Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, they are walking up to each other in the hallway. They light their lightsabers, and exactly, they hadn't yet figured out like how to fight with these lightsabers.
Well, I don't know. I watched a thing about it, and apparently
they're like pretty fragile or something.
The props that they used for the lightsabers were like glass almost.
Yeah, exactly.
So they couldn't be too crazy with it.
So that's why they're just kind of like tapping, But they have some good lines. I can't remember exactly what their dialogue is.
He's like,
"When I left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master."
Only a master of evil, gods.
So I think I like the emotions.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like sometimes when you look
your
at
first lightsaber battle,
the context of the story kind of can carry it for me. I don't know if that's fair to be when we're ranking these, but like it affects it for me in a big way. So I think like that carries it. It's
also,
obviously
it
pretty
ends
slow.
Pretty iconically.
Yes.
With Obi-Wan looking over and seeing his Luke and everybody's getting away, and he says, "Strike me down, and I'll become more powerful
than you could possibly imagine."
Oh man, that's epic.
I do like too that he looks over, he sees that Luke's there, and then the Force theme kicks in at that moment, and it's kind of just like he knows that it's what must be done.
Serves the purpose. I've always been a little confused about why he just like melts into his clothes though.
That's what happens when you die in the Force, man.
Well, I guess you do kind of. Yeah.
They just
disappear.
they're gone.
Yeah, it's true. But who else does that happen to? I guess.
Does that happen to Luke?
I know in the sequels they, but like, did that ever happen otherwise? Did it happen to Yoda?
But that's
what's happening.
That's what happens. Yeah.
Darth is pretty confused by that though. He's like, put
He's
his
like,
foot on there.
holy,
He's like,
he was just here a second
what
ago.
just happened to that guy? No, but you're right. The fight itself, you see him like, yeah, this little motion when he's doing the, it's like turning. I don't know if you've ever fought swords with anyone, but you always want your blade to be on top. Like as a kid, you're always like, yeah. I just like feel like that about this fight. It's so funny.
It's an accurate
And he's
fight.
like kind of pointing it at him, like, you know, they don't really like swing them. They just kind of touch them.
They're both old men at this point. even though just days ago Darth Vader was ruining those guys in the hall.
It's pretty good.
I'm thinking, so it's obviously slow paced.
Yeah, it's pretty slow paced.
There's hardly even choreography.
It's got to be at least B for me though.
I'm thinking C.
Okay.
Because there's some other fights that are definitely going to be on B that this one is not on par with.
Let me try to. Yeah, I mean, like as far as a lightsaber fight goes, it really is pretty. It's pretty run of the mill.
But the emotions.
It takes it above a D. It's definitely better than Episode 2 for me. You know, especially with some iconic lines from Alec Guinness and James Earl Jones.
Moving on to Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Luke leaves Dagobah early. He's like, I gotta go help my friends. And Yoda's like, you're gonna get trashed, bro. And he's like, nah. This is a really good fight. Like from 4 to 5, like the choreography on this is way better.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's also some really cool like imagery, I think. They got like the smoke. It's like the lightsabers are really glowing. You have the
pretty
profiles.
Cool. Yeah.
And you obviously have it ends with the I am your father. He slices off Luke's hand and everything.
Super iconic.
Really
Cloud
good
City.
fight. Really good fight.
Just hanging on to that thing.
And also, I like how
the epic no that Mark Hamill just lets loose.
I love that. I love that one. But I like how this was like a good humbling moment, I think, for Luke, because Luke, he kind of goes in confidence, right? Even though Yoda's like, don't go. He goes and he kind of holds his own with Vader for a second, and Vader even says, and they kind of toe-to-toe for a second.
Like jump out of a force jump.
And they
out of
kind of toe-to-toe for a second.
Like jump out of a force jump out of a thing or something.
But then like it gets to a point where like it's clear that Vader's completely in control of the fight, and he really starts making Luke squeal. So it's like I kind of like how it progresses like that.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a good character moment. Like this is like iconic, you know. This is like what Star Wars hinges on, man. You learn everything.
Yeah.
You see how Luke was arrogant and, you know, had learning to do.
Yeah.
And then the most humbling experience, the reveal. And this is why this fight, it's got to be up there, man. It's got to be.
I'm thinking A.
I think I wanted you to do S because it's just so amazingly iconic. And the fight itself, I think, has enough to like enjoy.
Yeah, like there's enough good like choreography.
I'm trying to
for
think
me,
about
at
it.
least.
Yeah, I mean, how could we not put this moment as S? This is the fight of Star Wars.
This is good. We're cheating a little bit, letting the emotions carry
Yeah,
the
I know,
fights.
that's true.
But the emotions do carry the fights. That's the thing.
I think that is a good takeaway though.
Yeah.
Because if not for the character moments, what are the lightsaber fights?
They're just Christmas light shows, you know.
Which some of them were earlier on.
As we saw.
As an 8-year-old, I loved the Attack of the Clones. This is like my favorite episode. Looking back, man, was I misled.
All right, let's move on to 6. This is also a good one. I really like the fights in 5 and 6, mainly because this is the one where Luke basically like he's trained, he's good enough, he's competent to beat Vader.
Yeah.
And he almost lets the rage consume him, you know. But at the last second, he's just like, it's not about that, you know.
Right. He's progressed far enough in the Force to be able to overpower his dad, right?
But that's not the Jedi way. It's not really what it's about.
And he lets his emotions get the best of him. I like the part where he's just pounding on Vader's arm at the end of the fight.
Vader, man, he's an old man. He's on the ropes. He's just.
It looks like a boxing match. He's literally just like long swording him to death, which is awesome.
That's a great moment.
Especially because it puts doubt in your mind as far as like what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, wow, is he gonna kill him right here?
Yeah, and then let's talk about the fact that right after that, Luke puts away his lightsaber and he literally just chucks it.
Never.
I love this fight.
Yeah, I definitely like it as well. I think it's got to be a step down from episode 5 fight.
Yeah.
But I definitely like it. I don't know.
It has some good resolution. Like
Maybe
this
I'm
is
just really
this caps
nostalgic
the
for
trilogy.
these 2 episodes are like some of my favorite.
I could call this A though.
Definitely at least A. I was thinking almost S. But
I just don't think it's quite on the level of what we have on S.
there's good elements in it. I like it a lot. I like it at A. That's fine.
Locked
Neither of
and
us have
loaded.
vetoed.
I vetoed at the very beginning, didn't
Did you
I?
veto?
Yeah.
What did you veto?
I
S tier
vetoed my
for
way into.
to Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's epic, dude.
So now we're moving on to the sequel 7, 8, 9. I want to say at the outset what I love about these fights is that, especially Kylo, right? Really, the only fights that we see in these are Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
But Kylo fights in such a way, and the fights are a bit slower than the prequels. Every time he swings his lightsaber, it looks like he's trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's true.
He really is like wham, wham. It's not like the old like. It's like he's really.
I'm pretty sure. What's his bucket? John Boyega said that in one of their practice fights. Adam Driver hit him like on the like one of the fingers or something like
Right.
that, and he was like genuinely like so mad because he was like just like swinging those things in practice too.
Yeah.
Which I guess you have to do. I mean, they changed up the fighting style.
Yeah.
In these last ones.
And
for
these
sure.
ones also, they added a little more of the visual flair. For example, so the fight in 7, the lightsabers, like they're out in the snow, and I swear, like you can see like when snowflakes like are making contact with the lightsabers, they make like a sound and they kind of like flare off. And also every time we get the contact between sabers, we get like sparks and smoke.
Yeah.
In the prequels, it's like you get a flash of light. But this is like you get sparks and then it like smokes.
Yeah.
So this fight in the
They definitely amplify like
Yeah.
the effect of the lightsaber on the environment and on each other as well. It's like a really like bright, intense light.
this fight that they have in the forest in the snow here like looks really good. Like all the colors and the effects, and I really like there's a part where Kylo swings and he slices a tree in half and then the tree kind of like swings down.
Right.
It just looks so cool.
Right.
I love this fight.
Wow.
This is
Strong praise.
This is my favorite for the sequels. Also, how could you forget at the beginning of this fight when Kylo's got he's got shots.
Oh yeah,
he's
that's
like,
true. He does hit himself. That's pretty epic.
And I don't understand.
Yeah, is he like trying to pump? Does anyone know about that in like
Psych.
combat? Is that like a thing?
He
Where
like,
you,
he punches it and then like some blood comes out. I don't know if
Maybe
that's
it's
a part
like
of it.
yeah, I don't know. Somebody teach us that.
But he's-
Comment down below. Why is he punching himself?
Oh, and also
Just the rage. I thought maybe it was just harnessing his pain.
me too.
just like-
That's kind of the vibe that I got from it. But I really like the Finn first fights with him, and Kylo just kind of puts him away. And the expression on his face too was just like, I'm bored. Like, give me a challenge. He really puts him away, and he does this thing where he does it in all 3 movies where he like swings his lightsaber around. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I'm gonna
about.
put it on the screen. But oh man, I love it. He knows that Kylo Ren. He knows how to wield a lightsaber.
And that Kylo Ren. Yeah, I like it a lot. I just have one wrench to throw in, and it's the complaint that everyone gives. And maybe this isn't a big problem
The
for
big
you.
L at the end.
The fact that he takes the big L to Rey.
He does take the
And
big L.
I don't know. Maybe now that we've got all 3 episodes for the sequels, it makes a little more sense. At least JJ kind of tried to give us an explanation in episode 9 with Rey having
with the-
inherent power
Right.
from Palpatine. But
Yeah, I mean, he does take it's the little L. Believe me, it bothers me like it bothers you.
I mean, she's about to go down, right? I can't
Yeah,
remember exactly.
they get split up. And there's also, you throw in the fact that he was injured. And I always say that he was emotionally
Yeah,
compromised
that's true.
because he
He
just
just killed his father.
just killed Han Solo.
Right, and
So
I
he
think-
was a little like, I don't know, not right. But he definitely takes at least the little L, which is my least favorite element of the.
Yeah, but I agree with you in that it is a little L, and also there's things that can justify the little L. You know, I don't know.
But still, he
And
trained his
also-
whole life
I know that is tough.
with Luke even.
Yeah, but also looking back on the sequels, you could also justify that he maybe. I mean, their relationship hadn't really developed to this point. There had to be something
Well-
like an initial like
A connection.
confusion or connection. Yeah, if they're dyad in the Force.
This reminds me too. There's actually another moment too where they're locked sabers.
Yeah.
And Kylo does the old join me. I can teach you the ways of the Force.
Right.
I kind of take that to mean he's like he doesn't want to finish her.
Right. I think he's already at this point realized that he has something, like there's some sort of Force connection between them.
You could also use that, I think, to justify.
So there's a few elements that you can kind of explain that one. I definitely like the fight a lot. I don't know, either A or B for me.
I want this to be A.
Is there anything else that, I mean, the only thing that really bothers me is, like I said, how it finishes. I like the fight. I think it's...
There's also that really cool moment where the lightsaber goes to Rey.
She pulls it out of the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know if I love that for the same reasons what we've already talked about.
I mean,
we
now
haven't learned a ton about her.
Well, like in hindsight now, it's like in 7 they made it seem like Maz Kanata's like, now it calls to you. It's
Yeah,
like she's something divine and special, and the lightsaber comes to her. It goes right past Kylo, but
Right.
that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the story, it really doesn't. It never has that much significance. So, I don't know. I think
thinking B.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Lock it in B. Okay, so we had to make an exception for 8.
Yeah, we did, because there's no lights. Well, yeah, there's no lightsaber on lightsaber action, is there?
Yeah, which is an interesting little choice.
It's not going to go the way you think, people.
There won't be any lightsaber fights. They do a couple of interesting things with the lightsabers in this. So there's Rey, she does the drop and come around.
I do have to say, the shot where they go back to back and their lightsabers are facing different directions and the guards are coming in, that's like one of the most beautiful shots in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's also really cool because it's right after Kylo kills Snoke. They kind of just look at each other and it's like their first time. They're fighting back to back, you know?
Right.
So that is a really cool moment. There's the slow-mo as all the guards are coming in.
It's really cool.
There's also at one point Kylo's in a chokehold or something.
Right.
And I swear Rey throws a lightsaber at him.
Yeah. That's
He catches and then ignites it into the guy's face.
That's how it ends, yeah.
So there's some good context in this.
Some good stuff. Good shots. I was pretty excited in theaters when I watched it.
Me too.
Mostly because I was. This is the part of Last Jedi I really love, you know. I wasn't anticipating the moment where he kills Snoke.
Yeah.
I wasn't anticipating, them fighting back to back.
No.
And this really cool moment in the and I also love how the red curtain or whatever gets lit on fire, and so it's just raining fire in the fight. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool moments. I was pretty it's very action packed, you know what I mean? It's very exhilarating.
Right.
It's as exhilarating as any of the fights are, I think.
Right.
You know.
I'm thinking B.
I think because there's no real there's character moments in that, Kylo obviously he escapes out from under Snoke, just taking charge of his own future.
Right.
I think that's an important moment for him, and also, afterwards he offers with Rey to burn down everything, kill
Extends
Pastor.
the job off.
Yeah, exactly. Although he's he killed his master, and it seems that he's fighting in conjunction with Rey, he still has selfish goals.
He's he's kind of in a neutral spot at that point.
Right.
He's not for the First Order, but he's definitely not for the Resistance.
And it enrages him that she rejects him at the end of this, right? But
yeah.
So I think you're right in that it's there's not a ton of because blades don't cross, as in lightsabers themselves. I don't think it can be with A and S. So
No.
it's got to be a B.
It's a B.
Because I'm still pretty pumped about it. you know?
Yeah. No, I was way psyched. Nobody saw that coming at all.
No.
Which there's the whole subvert your expectations. It's kind of a meme at this point, but
Right.
it was properly foreshadowed, I think. Especially the fact that he was kind of having a relationship with Rey. They touch hands and everything, and he's mad about the whole Snoke and everything. So it was right. It was good.
Right.
But nobody went into that movie thinking Snoke is gonna betray, or Kylo's gonna betray Snoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so.
Nobody was saying that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really predicting that.
The Final Destination.
So what did you choose here for episode 9? I'm curious.
This is
on the Death Star?
yeah,
Okay. I guess that is the only real lightsaber fight, right?
right.
Because afterwards
They
he
do
fights.
they do the Force fight,
Yeah.
but that's not the pinnacle.
Oh yeah, they do the Force fight, and then they also, Kylo comes back and he fights the Knights of Ren, but that's not like a real lightsaber battle.
There's no lightsaber. Also, I was a little underwhelmed with him putting away the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed by that.
Because to summarize my thoughts really quickly, there's an emotional connection that should be present between Kylo and the Knights of Ren.
Right, yeah.
He turned them basically from Luke.
Yeah.
Was my understanding.
Also, I'm a little confused about why they didn't have lightsabers, because weren't they...
Because why not give them freaking lightsabers? It would have been cool.
No, but I mean, like, weren't they, like, training to be Jedis?
They are at least training in the Force. They're at least Force users,
Yeah,
I think.
so maybe they... I don't know. I just am confused. I guess they didn't have any time to delve into,
Kylo doesn't even say to him, like, look, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. We don't have to fight. But he, without a word, kills every last one.
He goes like this.
He's like, sorry, you're dead. I'm about to murder you. Sorry, I got you here.
It's fine. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a fault of the sequels not being planned out in general.
Yeah.
You know, so, because they didn't do a single thing about the Knights of Ren in Episode 8. Really great concept.
Really fantastic concept.
So,
okay, back to the thing.
Anyway.
This fight was close to being like S tier for me.
Really?
Like, I think the idea of it is really cool. Like, you have this, at this point, Kylo and Rey, they have their connection, and it's a little more, it's not unspoken at this point. Like, I think it's more known between the two of them. So they're having like this weird moment where they're like fighting, you know? Kylo looks way calm in this fight, which is different from what like you normally see, you know? He's kind of like calm, and Rey gets pissed in this fight.
She does.
They kind of switch positions.
Gets pissed to the point where he, culminating moment.
Because at the beginning, like when Kylo shows up there, Rey pulls out her lightsaber and swings at him like 4 times, and he doesn't even pull his out. He's just dodging swipes.
Yeah.
So it's like they have this strong connection. They're at the Death Star ruins, which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
it's the rain.
She's way confused too. She just had this evil vision. She's got like, you know what I mean though. She's learned about her heritage. She's finally. I think this is like some of my favorite elements of Rise of Skywalker. Is they finally give Rey like some stuff to chew on as a character. You know what I mean?
Palpatine thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she already had the Rey nobody.
But she finally has like some controversy, like as far as like the Force goes, you know.
Right.
Like where does
she stand? Which
exactly
side?
Like darker light, you know, like some of those elements and some of the emotion that comes with like the dark side and the rage and the, you know. Whereas in all the other elements, all the other episodes of the sequels, like she's always just like been
there,
perfectly good, you know, all the time.
Yeah. So that's true. That's interesting.
I do agree with you there.
Also, Kylo at this point is like, he's a bit of a rogue more than ever.
Yeah, he is. He's flying solo, big time.
Oh, solo. They don't put any music over this fight. I don't know what they were trying to capture, but like, put the Battle of Heroes over this fight and it gets better.
No, I agree with you.
Put Duel of Fates over this fight and it gets better.
I so agree with you. I don't know, and they even teased it to us in like one of the trailers.
Yeah,
they put Duel of Fates in there. He was coming out of the water. This is like one of my favorite shots of Episode 9 is when he like comes out of the big wave and he's just walking towards her with his lightsaber. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's not like I said, the look on Kylo's face in those moments is just resolve.
Yeah.
It's not like the end of 8 where he's like, you know, he's pissed and he just wants to kill things, you know? He's kind of just like, he's kind of learning his place and like what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
But like, so there's no music and the choreography is like, it's okay.
I don't remember any moments that were like wowed me. You know?
All I remember is that they both go inverted grip.
I can't remember.
No, they go inverted grip, and I've always wanted to. Do you remember those games, The Force Unleashed?
Yeah, I do remember.
The main character in that game, he had the inverted grip.
Yeah, he did.
And I was always like, man, I want to see the inverted.
Did he have double inverted grip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they switch it like halfway through the fight too. I'm pretty sure Kylo switches first, and then Rey switches. Right.
Like I remember thinking like, oh, this is good, like cool, but like no moments of like the choreography like really wowed me.
Yeah.
As far as like the lightsaber battle goes.
Yeah, like that reminds me. I was gonna say, really, my favorite thing about this fight is the emotional beats at the end, which is hardly. I don't know if you could call it a part of the fight, but like.
Well, we kind of have for all these other ones.
But the fight is over. Kylo sees Leia and he's like, "I'm done fighting."
Well, the emotional.
And then Rey's like,
there's still an emotional.
"Screw you," with the cheap shot of the century,
yeah,
dude.
so it's still part of the fight.
Stomach.
I think she does inverted part of the stomach.
She does actually.
So you're right.
But then, I mean, I'm talking like I like how Rey heals him.
Yeah.
And then I also like, I think this happens in a different scene, but I love the Han Solo
that's
part.
pretty
That's
neat.
like my favorite.
That's like the
scene
best
in
part
the
of the
movie.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, if you want to call that a part of the fight.
I don't know if you can, especially the Han Solo aspect of it. I think that's already past the fight. I mean, she's gone at that point, you know. But like, I do like I think the ways they used Leia in Episode 9 was really smart for what they had, and her like stopping him kind of and being like, Ben, you know, like, I don't know, reaching out one more time and like preparing him for his turn. It's really cool. And Rey's her conflicted nature, like at that point in the movie, you know, not understanding who she is. Well, she knows who she is now, but she doesn't know what her place in it is.
Right.
So I think that's good. I'm gonna give it a. In conclusion, what do
I'm
you think?
thinking like this is definitely not up there with the A's,
I don't think so either.
but it's a good B. How about this? All the sequels
Wow.
B.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I don't think it's a C. I don't know. I liked it. It was like
No,
one of my
it's-
favorite parts of this movie.
Right.
You know, and I think it hit like there's cool enough moments, especially like I think the Death Star and the waves and like it's really,
Yeah, like I like the
visually
idea
stimulating.
that they're in the remains of the Death Star,
It's pretty cool.
and they, you know, because it's kind of like the legacies of Star Wars, right? And like here they are, the broken up Death Star still fighting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's gotta be. I can't put it on A. I don't think I can. Maybe I can.
No, you can't.
Are you sure? Can't go down to C.
As much as like I said, I have my problems with the Phantom Menace fight, but this fight from 9 is definitely not on par with that. No way.
Yeah, you're right. How could I say that? You're right. All the sequels are gonna end up in B.
Which is kind of an interesting
Poetic.
little, yeah. they're all
It's
they're all good.
It's all okay. All right.
So there we go. This is good. Like I think definitely these S tier fights are the S tier fights.
It's gotta be. Yeah. I mean, other than the one that you snubbed with
And
your veto.
that Revenge of the Sith fight, holy cow, it really pulls the heartstrings. It's so good.
I bet there's a lot of people that disagree with you on that. But
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, I think we put together a pretty good list here. There's not a lot of upsets.
I like it.
Justin, a final bonus question to ask you.
Yeah.
If you were to train in the ways of the Force and you got a lightsaber, would you go one-sided or two-sided?
Dang. I'd see myself just going one.
One seems more versatile.
Yeah. I just. Have you ever tried to like swing a pole around?
You
Hit
talking
yourself all the
double-sided?
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also have the crowd control, I think, with a double-sided.
I guess it's kind of true.
At the very least, you just spin it over your head like a helicopter. Nobody freaking touches you.
Thanos
Raining
style.
death. That reminds me, the most OP lightsaber move in the history of Star Wars.
Oh, it's
General
great.
Grievous gets 4 lightsabers and just fans them all. Like, how do you fight that? All right, so let us know. I'm gonna put the link to this tier maker in the description if you want to fill yours out. Be our guests. We would love it. And is there anything else you want to?
Stick around. We got some really good stuff planned for 2020. It's gonna be a big year for us.
2020.
So